Around. We'll get him back at the back half of the show. Hey, everybody, I'm Ryssdal. Welcome back to Make Me Smart. We are trying desperately to make today make sense every single day.
Man! And just when we think the news is going to calm down, it doesn't. I'm Molly Wood. It is Happy Hour Friday, Economics on Tap, as we like to call it. We have the live stream up and running as well. For those of you watching on YouTube, thanks for joining us. Shout out to Kimberly Adams in her Manhattan in the YouTube chat. I saw you. I see you.
Awesome.
I see you, girl.
Yeah.
When I'm pointing, by the way, to the side, it's because I have the YouTube and the chat up over here, but the camera's over here. So that's why it's a little confusing sometimes.
Yeah, for sure.
That's what's happening. YouTube, real-time video producing.
Yeah.
What are you having?
So we're going to do what we do, which is a little bit of the news. We'll share our beverages of choice today. I was just lamenting before we actually turned on the microphones that I'm out of bourbon, which is kind of a drag. What is that hissing?
I'm about to. No, that's the jackhammers, which I thought were done. I literally was like, oh, good. They're taking them up to the cars. And they're not. Otherwise, I would have been like, stop, take your break in 5 minutes. We'll deal. I'm good at the mute.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem to be quite as intense now as it was. But yes, that's the hissing that you hear. Yeah.
Vaguely there. All right. So what you drinking? We were talking about this before we started. Yeah.
Well, it's amazing because it turns out that the YouTube chat is on the same wavelength as me about Brown Liquor Friday, because I'm having some Booker's small batch bourbon with 2 ice cubes. Oh,
yeah.
I mean, it's good. It's the good stuff. It was a housewarming gift, kind of, like it's good stuff.
I might have to go out. I'm having
wear your N95 and a cloth over it.
I will. Or I'll send my son in. No, I'm just kidding. I won't, because he's not old enough anyway. Trogs Brewery out of Pennsylvania, Perpetual IPA. Excellent choice.
It's in a can.
In Hershey, PA, sent me this thing. Oh yeah, beers come in cans now. That's like the hip thing. It's been a while. Surprised you don't.
I mean, I know they did. I've just never seen you with one. You don't drink it out of the can though, right? You're a pour it in a glass guy.
Oh no, I'm a glass guy. I'm a glass guy.
Yeah.
I'm a glass guy.
Oh, that's a neat one. It's like a little stein.
Oh yeah, it's got a little thing. You know what this is? The guy who runs Sam Adams came to Marketplace and brought a 6-pack of beer and a bunch of glasses. And so I scraped off the Sam Adams logo, and now I use it at home.
Which we legally have to do because of TV radio thingy.
Less than $25. You can keep it. Whatever. I don't even know.
It reminds me of I don't know why I think this is storytelling hour, but it reminds me of I did a summer internship in Washington D.C. before my senior year of college, and my best friend that summer, who is still my friend now, was from UCLA, and they had given him a book of places to go to happy hour that had free food, because they were like, you're not going to make any money on these internships, so you should go. And there were all these places in DC that had $5 you could get a yard of beer.
Remember when yards were huge? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And that glass kind of reminds me of the yard beer, because the bulb is where all the beer is. You don't realize how much is in there. Yeah.
It's so much beer. It's so much beer.
It's not like a healthy amount of beer. You shouldn't. No, but it would be well, this is a $5 yard beer place that also has like fried zucchini, so you can eat, because we could not afford to eat.
Right. Yeah, fried zucchini, mozzarella sticks, and a yard of beer.
And a yard of beer, which is enough calories. Enough calories to get you through the weekend, basically.
Yeah. It would kill me now. Oh my God. Anyway, all right.
Forget it.
So that's enough of our sordid past. What do you like news-wise?
Time for the news. You know what I like? The only story that I care about that I'm obsessed with. I remain obsessed with everything related to stonks.
There it is.
And I have attempted.
Chris from Twitter, who tracked me down over
Twitter
here.
Guy.
Chris from Twitter, who tracked me down. I'm not saying it. Molly's saying it. Okay, go ahead.
They're all saying that there should be a stonk cocktail. And guys, you're missing out here. It's stonk tail. Come on.
Oh, that's pretty good.
So whoever invents the stonk tail, I'll have it on next Friday. I have attempted to distill, if you will, no pun intended, this story down to just the few parts that I think are interesting. One, of course, is watching just my financial advisor, who I've gone to for a lot of background advice on this stuff, just come to the realization upon seeing Robinhood take out $1 billion in lines of credit that they probably were not well capitalized enough to cover all the trades they had allowed to be made on their platform. Sent him. He was like, I don't care if the barbarians storm the castle. Fine. What I do care is get your business house in order. Like, he was just horrified by it. And so he sent me a bunch of gifts of things of running away from the Robinhood IPO should it eventually come, if they are not destroyed by all of this. But what I specifically found interesting was the Wall Street Journal report today saying that Citron Research, the founder of whom is Andrew Left, who has been the target of a lot of harassment, not okay, right? Doxing, threatening his kids, like tons of harassment over shorts, has now announced that the firm will no longer be publishing short seller reports. The firm will pivot to providing insight into companies that the firm thinks investors should buy. Mr. Left said, the risk reward, he's quoted by saying, the risk reward of being a short seller is not worth it. It's not worth it for me or my family. He said in an interview, which I think is remarkable for a lot of reasons. One, I think that I have this theory that a lot of the rage about short sellers that contributed to this specifically is about Tesla. Like, if you see the kind of behavior and the crossover of people in WallStreetBets, I think a big part of this was driven by this like long simmering rage that Elon Musk has cheerfully stoked about all of these people aggressively shorting Tesla. And there are elements of this that have like a big kind of like a fanboy vibe, right? This is the stuff that we love. Yep. We love video games and we love 90s era brands. And we love the movies. And I made an offhand comment the other day that like, well, look, if when firms so aggressively short stocks that they've shorted 140% of their outstanding value, or they're trying to drive them out of business and it feels really unfair, and a bunch of Wall Street like bets Redditors come and punish them badly for it, that to me is like the market working. Like, we don't need any regulation for that. That's like balance and a counterbalance, which I guess is why I found it notable that in this case, this guy's like, all right, I'm out. This is too dangerous. However, he also said, and then I promise I'll let you talk. He also said, we have uncovered a lot of fraud. I know, I'm just ranting. I'm sorry.
No, that's good.
Yes,
no, that's good. Go ahead.
Good.
Well, no.
No,
So what I was going to, I was going to say two things. Number one, shorting does provide a market service, right? It sniffs out those frauds, and then those frauds get shut down. Most notably, recently, Valiant went under and had to change its name, and like bad things happened to it because it had accounting frauds and scandals, and that was a big one. Bill Ackman is a notable short guy with Herbalife. So shorts provide a market function, okay? And we need to be clear about that. And shorting is not dead. Just super quickly and technically on this whole, they were short 140% of the outstanding float of this company. That's okay. Happens a lot. Because let's remember when you short a stock, you borrow a stock. But let's say somebody else wants to short a stock and they go to you and they borrow that stock that you borrowed. Stocks can be borrowed more than once.
That's how it works?
Yes.
So it's like when my money is in the bank and the bank invested or loans it out. In the bank.
Yes.
And my money's not technically in the bank until I need it. Oh, thank you.
Yes.
Good explainer. And just it was only this long. You're so good at stuff.
Anyway, so yes, look, I totally agree with you that this story is fascinating. I tried really hard today to kind of tune it out because it became a little bit all consuming yesterday, and I couldn't really think of anything else because it's so car crashy, right? And it says a lot of things about a lot of things, right? Society and Wall Street, the rich and the poor, inequity, unfairness, right? In addition to just the market mania part of this thing, right? There's that. But there's also this other thing that's going on here, which is we're in a pandemic and there's a recession and 400,000 people are dying and we haven't been out of our house in 9 months. And what is this stupid GameStop thing?
Yeah.
So yes, this is a big
all
deal.
Of a piece, though.
But yeah. No, I totally agree, right? Because in part, because we haven't been out of our houses, people are like, what can I do to entertain myself? I'm going to go on Reddit and go to WallStreetBets and buy shares of GameStop. I totally get that. But in macroeconomic terms, this is a tiny little thing still. Now, when people start thinking about how to regulate this, because Elizabeth Warren is this morning all over the SEC, and Gary Gensler, when he gets into the SEC, is going to have his hands full with this stuff because Congress and the Dems and AOC and, oh, by the way, some Republicans too are going to be like, what is going on with this thing? And that's totally fair.
Yeah.
But for now, it's the car crash aspect of it, right? Which is just, oh man, cannot look away.
It is. And it's intense. I would say it's even more intertwined than just people being bored at home. I think there's there's all the kind of simmering rage from 2008 that's a part of it. You've probably seen some of the tweets going around today that are like, this is for my dad who lost his house and is now,
Totally.
dead drunk and waiting to die. And my uncle lost his house too. And like, I don't care if these hedgies go down. And so there's this kind of, there's like the populist warfare part of it. And then there's also the kind of rage about everything, the psychic rage, and certainly people being stuck at home, but people being stuck at home and mad that no help has come from the government when they have all lost their jobs. And so it is like, definitely, I think the entire thing is of a piece and could almost only happen right now, which is what makes it fascinating. But yes, I agree. I also got way too consumed by it last night. It was like
a very brief detour to the YouTube comments. One Kimberly Adams, first time listener, long time caller, take your pick. The stonk cocktail, she says, does indeed need some hedge clippings in the mix. That's pretty good.
Oh my God, you're so smart.
That was pretty good.
Love it.
Yep.
Stonk tail though.
Yep.
I'm gonna insist on stonk tail. Yep. That's all I got. I have this other link here, but I'm not gonna do it.
Yeah, you know what? And I'm not going to do mine either because mine was sort of silly and macro, and yours is very on point. And I think it's in both of our lanes, and we both have strong feelings about it. And this is absolutely not the last time we're going to talk about this or any of those other issues. So
I think I actually thought, I mean, to your exact sentiment, I thought to myself, are people tired of this? Is it too trivial considering everything that is going on? And then I thought to myself, you know what? I am going to allow myself to indulge in this thing for one more day because
for sure
I have a little news high about it. But I also think it's so relevant to all of the trends that have gotten us to the places that we are in so many ways. And it's a revolution.
Totally
like, we should not leave this thing. We should not. I got to say, I told you so to my financial advisor today too. Cause when I brought it up to him Monday, he was like, I'm like, look at how down the stock market is today. I was like, is today the day that I can say I told you so? Because feelings. Everybody's freaked.
Yeah. I think people are freaked. I think that was a little part of the market today. I think there were some other things going on, but certainly the idea that hedge funds now have to draw down billions and billions of dollars means that they have to liquidate other positions, right? To cover those shorts, as we talked about yesterday, the upside loss on a short is conceivably infinity. So yeah, there's certainly some of that as well.
Also, just so you know, on isthesqueezesquoze.com. Still no. Yeah, well, look, I mean, GameStop was up like 60-something% today. We're not done. I know.
We're not done. BlackBerry, I'm sure was up. Nokia, I'm sure was up. AMC, I'm sure was up.
Yeah. GME shorts have not begun to close their positions in substantial numbers. Well, and GME hasn't taken out any new capital against this or issued new shares, so they're not capitalizing on it. So probably the shorts are right.
Which is really interesting, right? If you're the CEO of GameStop right now and your stock is through the roof, how are you not sitting there with some prospectus ready to go saying, here we are, a billion new or whatever it is, right?
Yeah. Like you just won the lottery. God gave you a second chance in the form of a Reddit mob, and you are not prepared to capitalize on it. And if that is the case, then the shorts are right about you. Because you don't have your secret business plan ready to go.
What wouldn't you give to be a fly on the wall of their offices down in Texas as they, 10 days ago started seeing this happening and just were like, what do we do?
I know. I mean, they better be working on their pivot right now.
Yeah. Okay. Have we beaten that horse enough? Do we think?
I think we have. Thank you for letting me have one more day. Okay. One more day.
No. Look, you were right, and I was overly cautious. That's legit.
It happens. I'll just be here to beat the dead horse anytime you need me.
Fair enough.
All right. Okay. Time to have some fun. We're not even doing Make Me Smile anymore on Fridays, you guys, because our new game is so much more fun. Hit the sting.
Yep. Oh, I forgot this. Oh my goodness.
We have a sting.
Okay, it's half full, half empty. Drew Jostad is the guest star today, as he is every Friday, in the studio down in LA. He says something, and Molly and I react. Ready, Drew, go.
Are you half full or half empty on outdoor dining?
Oh,
I'm half full.
So it's back in California.
It's back.
Are you really? Are you?
Yeah.
Are you?
Yeah. Yeah.
How come?
Because when California state officials were asked, and now you know me to be cautious on the topic
I do.
of
Yes.
the virus and not spreading the virus. When
I
California
feel like you're
state
yelling at me,
officials,
but yes. Sorry.
I'm like super fired up this week. Like
A little bit.
I really
Come over
have
here.
a
Let me
news.
rep your knuckles, son.
Sometimes
Anyway, go ahead.
you really know that you're in the right job, and the news high that I have had this week
Yeah.
tells me that there is no job I will ever be able to do than this. When California state officials were asked by reporters when they instituted this latest lockdown, they were asked, do you have data that shows that outdoor dining or indoor services with masks spreads COVID-19? They did not. Like, I don't think that outdoor dining there so far, there does not seem to be evidence that it spreads the virus in big amounts. And on top of that, it appears to have driven people to parties at their houses that do spread the virus because you're inside and you take your mask off and you're just like, that's fine. Well, like a bunch of us will have dinner. And I think if we are at the point where we're in a slightly risk universe and we don't have evidence that compared to churches or bars or indoor parties at your house, outdoor dining spreads it, then like let some businesses live and let some people go out to dinner. I'm going out to dinner. I'm going to freeze my butt off in 35 degrees. Maybe. Possibly.
All right. I'm half empty, and I think I'm half empty because of the reason that we've talked about a little bit before about the social anxiety of going out again. I'm still a little weirded out. Being that close to a random person who comes to take my order and wearing a mask and a face guard. I'm half empty. Anyway, Drew, go.
Buy American.
Oh man. So President Biden this week, I can't even tell you how many presidents before him, including President Trump, signed an order today that said you got to buy, not today, this week, or maybe in the last 10 days, whatever, said you got to buy American. It expanded the definition of what constitutes an American product. And it's just really hard to do because we're a globalized economy. I mean, yes, I'm half full in principle, but I'm half empty in execution.
Yeah. I feel like I'm like half empty on supply, which is the problem. I'm half full on onshoring, right? And having a more balanced economy. Yeah. But on the kind of pretty simplistic idea that you can just buy American.
Yeah.
God, it feels really not okay to say half empty, but I guess that's what I just said. So I'm going to own it.
Yeah.
Own it. See, and I'm already getting yelled at about the restaurant thing. You know what? Don't yell at me.
You know what? Yeah.
Are you half full or half empty on the Harriet Tubman news?
Oh, Harriet Tubman being back on track to get on the $20 bill after Stephen Mnuchin and the Trump administration slow rolled it. Half full, please.
All
please,
full.
Come on. Let's go.
Every part of full.
It's overflowing.
Yep. Easy win.
Okay.
That was quick.
Super Bowl commercials.
Oh. So my brother-in-law is a creative type, and we had him over. I mean, look, I've known this guy for 25 years now, and we had him and his family over 8 or 10 years ago for a Super Bowl party, and we had TiVo'd it because Super Bowl comes on at a stupid early time. Also, you can tell how long ago this was because I said TiVo.
I know, TiVo.
I know, right? Comes on at a stupid early time in California, and so we were playing it back on tape. And we get to the first commercial break, and I go, boop, 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 and to fast forward through it. And he looks at me and goes, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" And so we watched all the commercials. I got nothing for Super Bowl ads. I could not care. I'm drained, empty. Tip it over and turn it out. I'm drained. I don't care.
You know me on this show, you and the audience, to be a big sports fan. And I will tell you that in pandemic times, I know that the return of sports in some form has been like a lifeline for people. I could not care less. I just feel like it has there's no weight behind it. There's no import, even though it should be the thing that entertains me. The fact that it even exists to me is just like so indulgent. And I cannot be bothered.
Did you? Wow. Did you not watch I mean, in the bubble and the NBA, and they did a nice job. I mean, they did a really nice job, right?
Yeah. I thought fine. And it was the weirdest thing. It was like it had no stakes for me. was a very strange thing. I know. And so I finally, thanks to my brother constantly, and also I'd given up on football several years ago because I'm just like, oh, you and your domestic violence. Like, I'm not having it. I feel very proud that I gave up on football even before Kaepernick came along. And so then I could be like, told you. So I just don't feel that much connection to it anyway. And then, I think the ads this year are just going to be like, I can't even imagine the degree of like performative whatever that is going to be a part of these ads, and I'm just not having. I'm not interested.
Well, that's part of the news, right? That's why Drew asked, because Budweiser this year, for the first time in umpty frats years, made a big show of, oh, we're not going to do the Clydesdales and spend that money. We're going to spend it on COVID. And you're like, okay, fine, that's great, but you're a multi-bazillion-dollar company.
Seriously,
give it up more than just the ads, right? Come on.
It's the. I mean, if there's not going to be any Clydesdales, what's even the point?
Now, wait, I want to circle. I know we're getting really long, and I apologize. I want to circle back to this basketball thing. You're a big basketball fan, and you're
I'm a huge
Warriors fan, and I know you are, Steph Curry. So do you suppose when things get back to normal, if and when, because obviously this new season that they started early or just after the ending of the old one is another weird season. Do you anticipate going back to basketball?
I don't know. I guess we'll see. I watched one game with my brother. I went over, we're in a pod, I went to his house. We got pizza. We ordered we got pizza and watched the game. And I was like, oh my God, this is really fun. And it feels like the before times. Okay. And so I think that joy of sports will come back. I think it just really felt just it was like cognitively dissonant to be like, yeah, sports matters when like everything was existential.
Yeah. Fair enough.
So I hope so, because I really do like sports. I watched Ted Lasso. That was sporty.
Oh God, I love Ted Lasso.
I know, so great.
All right. Do we have another one, Drew?
I guess we kind of already talked about this, but you got me a half full or half empty on Wall Street.
I mean, Wall Street's always going to win. Let's be clear. Like, the house always wins. I don't know if that's a half full or a half empty.
Yeah, I think I'm half full and half empty. Look, Wall Street has really big structural problems, some of which we're seeing this week, but it also moves capital through this economy in ways that let stuff happen. I'm yes. Half full, half empty? Yes. How about that? Can we do that? I guess that's the end of the segment.
Well played. Way to hack the game. Way to hack the game, Riz. Love it.
Oh, man.
We are, all right, that is it for us. Love the Friday show. Thanks for tuning out on YouTube. It's okay if you yell at me. I get it. It's fine. It's just to be clear, that none of that should be taken as health advice. It's just my feelings. We will be back on Monday. For now, please send us your questions, your comments. Hit us up at makemesmart@marketplace.org. Yell at me if you want to. I can totally take it. I have dinosaur skin. I've been on the internet for a long time.
That was very teacher voice right there. That was very inside teacher voice. I can take it. That's fine.
I can take it.
Make Me Smart is produced and directed by Marissa Cabrera, who usually at this point on a Friday is like, what am I even doing with this company? Tony Wagner is our producer. We're going to get digital out of there because anybody doing analog these days? Ben Heathcote and Stephen Bion are our video producers. Erica Phillips does our newsletters. Also the Make Me Smart skill on your smart devices.
Dude, Erica Phillips does so much. Like the sheer volume of things. Like she just, every time there's a new thing, she's doing that newsletter too. Anyway, today's program was engineered by co-star Drew Jostad. Ben Tolliday and Daniel Ramirez composed our theme music. Senior producer Don Tam, the executive director of Davis. It's still going.
I think only the dogs heard that one.
That counted. The music was still going. That bourbon is strong. That's all I have to say about that. Yep. Turns out
Mark Callahan from Pennsylvania drinking a Trogs Perpetual IPA, just like me. That's good. I'm gonna have to swing by the alcohol store and get a thing of bourbon.
The Clydesdales should be in a commercial delivering vaccines, says Christopher Herrera.
What a good idea.
Or beers to healthcare workers.
Christopher Herrera ought to get a job running marketing for Budweiser. Honestly.
That's really good. Because that is the kind of thing we are likely to see in the commercials, and it's not going to feel, that's the performative thing I was talking about. And yet, if I saw those Clydesdales bringing beers to healthcare workers, you guys, I would cry like a baby.
That'd be awesome. Okay, wait, what is like this thing from Mike? I know people still use film SLRs, but the D on DSLR annoys me. Okay, whatever that is.
because
Also, there's
digital.
a comment about Kai in a suit. I'm not wearing a suit. Oh yeah, D and digital. Yeah, I'm not wearing a suit. I haven't had a suit on in more than a year.
It's the post-show marketplace APM. Don't be a buzzkill.
I know, right?
It's a
All right,
thing.
fine. Are we still rolling?
Yeah,
We're still going?
we're hanging out.
Holy
We're
cow.
doing marketplace after dark or whatever. Whatever we called it.
Oh man. We should just sit here and just
I cannot-
do like a live chat on these.
Just
freaking
read the
comments. That's
chat.
what
End
we're
of the
gonna do.
pod club. That's what it is. Yeah,
Oh
exactly.
my God.
This
Sarah
is the
Schlosser,
best
we are
buzz.
not leaving this bar. There ought to be like a
cannot
thing
wait
we can turn the
to-
lights on and let everybody know it's last call.
Oh my God, look at them. They're just going crazy. More bourbon.
I know, right?
We should have
Oh my
stonk tails
God.
together. Just so you guys know, FYI, I'm building an
What?
upstairs studio in the garage, which is very exciting. I am not building it.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Clearly.
Sculler's gonna come to your
Obviously.
house, right? And